What is up, ladies and gentlemen of the YouTuberverse? I'm sitting here nice and snug with my blanket. I have the window open, enjoying the nice day and everything. Sorry I haven't done a video like this in a while. It's been busy, but not in a bad way. It's never a bad busy for me. Not much, at least recently. I can't say where's some wood. I need to knock on some wood or something. Yeah. Here we go. Yeah, don't want to jinx myself, you know? Anyway, everything's going good here, as good as it can be. As you know, with scabbers and everything, thankfully it's moved on from that. I've moved on from that. Everything's set up, put away, all that stuff. So outside of that, all the animals are doing good. The tank, however, it's actually doing something that fish tanks will do if you use substrate. It's going through that part of the cycle now where, unfortunately, some of the gases and stuff built into the dirt are starting to rise in the tank. I had coolie loaches and things to kind of help with that, but problem is, it was only two coolie loaches to begin with, and I did have a lot of those Malaysian trumpet snails all up in my tank. Now, the problem with that is I think all of them kind of started dying off because my tank started getting in more sort of the ram's horn snails. They were starting to come in from different plants, and I like them, so I kind of let them do things. And I think the ram's horns and stuff slowly started to get the food and do more than those trumpet snails, because trumpet snails are already under the substrate, and that's not something the bladder snails normally do. So when I drop food, not the well, bladder snails too, but bladder snails and ram's horn snails, so many snails, goodness, they're not really digging creatures, so they don't really stay underground like the trumpet snails will. They see the food first, and they normally get to the food first. So the problem with that is, I'm afraid a lot of those trumpet snails kind of like died out and stuff, and some of them might be under the substrate more than I would care for. So it's definitely added a bit of issues to the tank right now. A lot of my fish are kind of hanging out at the top and stuff with the plants and so on. That lets me know that the substrate is giving off gases and stuff, so I changed stuff out. I pulled out some old plants and stuff. At the end of this little video here, I'm going to do something I was going to do as a short alone, but I decided there's not enough information in that to let you guys know what's going on with the tank. So right now, with the fish tank, it's in a weird spot. I only have the 7 fish in that whole thing. I think the nyrite is probably passed on as well, maybe. I'm not sure. That thing was old, though. So if the nyrite snail finally, went up to snail heaven or whatever, it was time. So I'm worried, like, there was too many passings of snail creatures, and now the tank might have a bit of an issue with balance. So I'm going to have to do a water test. I'm thankfully where I work, I'm in tomorrow, bringing some of the water I got, and I will test it using our kits and stuff, because we do them for customers and stuff. We're allowed to do that for our own tanks as well. Just as long as you don't abuse that, and once every in a while, fine. If you're trying to do a water test for yourself every few days, that's abusing the system. So I would not do that. The last time I did a water test, I did a video on it, and that was months and months ago. And the water was fine. But I can tell by the way my fish are acting, where my shrimp are located at. And I probably need to add some more ghost shrimp eventually, but let me get my stuff settled with my tank. So, not as many videos with the tank right now outside of this one. It is nice and wiped down, so I might show like a little bit of it, but I'm not going to be really talking too much about it while I'm trying to get this stuff settled. And I'm going to have to get something to kind of get more of that substrate stuff out, kind of a deal. See if I can do that without really hurting the fish or anything. Probably have to put them in a 10 or 20 gallon for a little bit, which I do have empty 10s and 20 gallons just to make sure that they're secure, there's no cracks or anything, because it's different when it's empty and when you put water in it, because water applies pressure. And so whenever you're filling up a new tank with water, always check, especially the corners, the silicone, anything that's going to hold the tank together needs to be intact. If you have any breakage or any cracks or anything, the water will push that apart, if not right away, in time faster than you would want it to be. One day you just come home and there's water everywhere, kind of a deal. So that's where you got to be careful with that. So temporarily move them over and trying to do what I can with that. But that's going to be difficult because the whole bacteria system and everything that you want to keep going and whatnot. Usually these kind of things are a step-by-step process. I have to do those steps. I'll let you know what I do, how I do it. Otherwise, it's a lot. It really is a lot when it gets to this point with a lot of those kind of tanks where you're using the substrate. Every couple of years, gases build in the dirt, and that could cause those gases to wreak havoc on all sorts of parameters. And the fish and other things are not very fond of that. So it will cause them trouble breathing. It might even cause them pain, similar to like ammonia burns, depending on the species. Of course, some fish have better tolerance to these kind of things than others. But the fish I got don't really care for it too much. So I do have, like I said, about 7 of them. 6, 7. Yeah, 6 of them, actually. Only fish. Look, I got the 3 corridors, 2 coleloches, and the 1 guppy still going and everything. So that guppy's old too, by the way. That little fish guy survived so much. Yeah. And again, videos and stuff documenting all that. But at the end of this video, it's a little thing talking about what's going on with the tank. I know I spent a lot of this video talking more so about the fish tank and stuff and some little fish facts and things, but yeah, that's pretty much what's going on. That's what's big on my mind right now. Outside of that, there's a lot of stuff going on in the world in general, and just look after yourselves. I hope that you're all going through the best, no matter what side of the fence you're on with whatever's going on. I'm a peaceful person, and a lot of that stuff out there, it's just not jiving with me. So know that I know what's going on. Know that I'm sad it's happening. But I'm not going to side this, side that. Honestly, violence is violence. And what's going on shouldn't really be. But, hopefully one day everyone can come to an understanding and respect one another for who they are and what they are. And not worry about such details to the point where things like this are happening in the world right now. And I say that because I know it's going to have to be addressed. People are going to have to talk about it in some way or another. But I'm just letting y'all know it's gonna be okay in the end. What happens will happen. It's as long as you're still up, kicking, breathing, stepping along, you'll be able to find your way. You'll be able to get it right. It's just gonna be tough for a lot of us, in one way or another, for real, based on what's going on out there. So just hold on tight, keep it one step at a time, and always be using this up here, man, because it's so easy to let the heart get in the way, emotion get in the way. You got to be smart about things, and you got to take it very carefully, especially in an age where information mixed mash and all crazy. You don't want to be mixed up in that. So be safe, be good. Little short thing about the fish tank. Y'all have a good one. Peace out. So cleaning up my tank, doing stuff, changing stuff around, and here's a fun little moment right here. Got one of the coleloches who came up on the log and just decided to take a nap. Well, not taking a nap, he's just chilling. Mostly you'll find these guys under the substrate, kind of hanging out by plants and stuff. But looks like this dude decided when I swooped them all when cleaning and doing, come up here and take a rest. I flipped the log thingy over so it keeps getting waterlogged and get eventually down there. But you can see some of the stuff with the schmutz and stuff. Oh, and there's the other coleloche right there. Hey, bud. They were playing over here in the bubbles, and I moved stuff around on them. Some of these plants are growing quick, and then that's making some old leaves kind of like fade away kind of a deal. And with that is simply because Anacharis is a fast breaking down plant, but it gets really long and stuff too. A little bit of some schmutz and stuff, and I'm working on cleaning this right now, so I know it's a little dirty, especially with the viewing glass, some of the bit of algae sheen right there, and you got some little bladder snail eggs, got some ram's horn snails that somehow got their way into this tank, but I'm not too worried about them. Nice big old string of Anacharis coming on through, and again, I am doing the water change right now, so it's a little murky, but it's a dark water tank, black water tank, whatever you want to call it. And everything else is just kind of holding on and doing good the best it can. Got some new duckweeds and things. They're holding on. It's been a few days though, so I mean anything can change still. But we're doing change-ups, doing stuff with the water. Some of these guys right here were up under the log. That's why they look a little funky. Got some schmutz on them. We got to clean that up. Well, we don't have to. The ones that are still doing just fine are going to do just fine. But anywho, I'm just checking things out and doing stuff with the tank. Wanted to share that real quick, mostly because, for the most part, coleloches don't normally hang out towards the top like that. So that's what I was meaning. They've been playing in the bubbles and playing around a lot, so they're acting a little weird. It makes me a little worried that the stuff down below, hey buddy, is not very good. So I want to try and fix that for them. He's sitting right there in the little crevice thing. You're not stuck, are you, friend? Oi, you're not stuck, are you? You do that on purpose? Friend, I don't want to touch you. What you doing? Oh, you're not stuck. Oh, no, you're not stuck. Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to make that move up like that. You're good. Okay. You're just a coolie loach. You're being funny. You're being weird. I get you. Mostly the short was because of the coolie. Oh, buddy, your face. Whoa, don't hit your face on the glass. Okay, we're just going to have to put the bag back because that's what keeps this thing from floating around. Gonna tuck that right there for now. Keep my little coolie loach butter safe. And we're gonna be moving on with more cleaning.